I don't stand side by side with nobody till I bleed with them first.
What did we just see? You probably think this world is a dream come true.
When I step into this ring, yeah, bro, I am addicted.
Don't sleep on Luca!
Maybe tomorrow we'll all wear 42.
If you fight for your dreams will fight for you.
All right, so the last time we were talking about the Phillies, it was an end of May review. From what I remember from that end of May review was Kimbrel getting his 400th career save and being sort of in a weird, very weird place where just didn't know what to expect from the team. You know, we ended up losing and getting swept by the Mets in that series. We tied, you know, we split the series with the Braves 2-2, and we really started looking towards the next couple of trips as just the one where, like, you know, we really needed to capitalize on things. We were going against the Nationals, we were going against the Tigers, and then we had the Dodgers again, which is going to be which we were like, oh, it's going to be difficult, you know. And we still had, you know, the big issue of who's our fifth pitcher. And as we saw yesterday with the Diamondbacks game, we're still doing these bullpen games instead of, you know, like trying to find somebody that we can just rely on as a fifth pitcher. But all the other issues I mentioned, well, apparently that just seems to go away once June starts, because I don't know, there's something about that June weather that gets these guys going. Now, it took a bit to see that because, you know, we lost June 1st. We lost that game to the Mets, and we ended up losing the first game to the Nationals 8-7, which, you know, that one really sucked. There was 4 runs scored in the second, you know, but you still had like some pretty decent games from some of our guys in that game, like Bryson Stott getting 2 hits. Kyle Schwarber had 2 hits. Nick Castellanos had 4 hits, 5 RBIs. You know, basically got us on the board so many different times. But the things of note talking about is that second Nationals game where, let's see, Bryce Harper had 2 hits. What was it? Trey Turner with an RBI. JT with an RBI, Brandon Marsh with an RBI, Josh Harrison with an RBI. You know, that was a pretty good game. JT hit a home run. Then you had the next Nationals game, which this one, that Washington game, we ended up, what's it called? This was a game where, yeah, we used our bullpen, and this was like the one time, you know, we were able to get the win with the bullpen. Like, we started off with Matt Strahm, then Andrew Vasquez, then Dylan Covey, Junior Marte, Gregory Soto, Anthony Dominguez, Craig Kimbrel. Look at that, like, all people used, you know, in one game. It's pretty crazy that, like, that's what we have to resort to because we don't have a fifth pitcher option. But then the next couple of games, you know, that would... sorry. So we were on a 5-game losing streak, but then we win those 2 games, we win one, the second game of the Nationals, and then we come for the third game, and that one we explode off for 11-3 win. You know, this is the one where, you know, Kyle Schwarber had 2 hits, 6 RBIs, JT had an RBI, Brandon Marsh had an RBI, and Drew Ellis had 3 RBIs. This was a game where Drew Ellis, I believe, like, I think he hit 2 home runs, maybe, I think it was. Let me double check real quick. This game against the Nationals, yeah, he had 2 home runs in this game. So that was pretty crazy to see. And then, of course, Schwarber, again, it's just something about that June weather. You know, he just out of nowhere just starts going crazy, and you're just like, you know, what is it about June that he just pops off like that? You know, like what is in the weather where he, gets 2 home runs and has 6 RBIs that game, I don't know what it is. And then also, I think it was, let me check if this was the, okay, no, yeah. So as soon as like we were like in the midst of that losing streak, it was the National Series, I believe, where they put Schwarber back at the leadoff spot, because at that point they were just like, we got to change something up. And by the end of that National Series, we see the lineup where we're seeing now, where it's Schwarber leading off. Oh, sorry. Schwarber leading off. Usually Trey Turner's next. And then I think it's usually Nick Castellanos, then Bryce Harper. And then after that, it's usually like JT, Brandon Marsh, Alec Boehm. Bryson Stott, I think recently has fell all the way down to like the 7th batter, the 8th batter sometimes. It's pretty crazy stuff. Like, it's like, dang. But like at the same time, you just kind of have to go with whatever works best. And, you needed some type of change essentially. It's like with the way things are going, you just needed something different to help this team push through. We get the game with the Tigers. This is the first game. Nola comes in and was real impressive. Real impressive game from Nola, where he went 7 innings and had 12 strikeouts. He only let up 1 home run. But yeah, 12 strikeouts was a real good game from him. We ended up having that Dodgers loss where he struck out 7, but he let up 6 earned runs. That was a pretty tough game to watch because it was 0-9. Getting ahead of ourselves though. This first game against the Tigers, Castellanos with an RBI, Bryce Harper with an RBI, Trey Turner 3 RBIs on the day, 4 hits on the day as well. JT with 2 RBIs, Edmundo Sosa with an RBI. Great way to start off that series. And then again, Schwarber again. We get a game where this time it's Taiwan Walker. But, we beat the Tigers 1-0. Schwarber leadoff home run in the first inning, and then that's it. Rest of the game was pretty much a shutout, How do I want to put this? You want to see a bit more, in a sense. Like you don't really want to see games like that where you don't do much to rest of the game. But it's still made for, a pretty intriguing game. Taiwan Walker, that game, also got to shout him out. He went 7 innings, nothing allowed, 8 strikeouts. Real good game from him. Really doing well. Really recovering from a shaky start, And then after that, we had a walk-off game where this one was, oh gosh, who walked it off? Was it, I think it was Cody Clemens. Yeah, it was Cody Clemens. This game, real quickly though, Zach Wheeler in this game, 7 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts as well. Gotta shout out that man. In this game, Bryce Harper with an RBI, Brandon Marsh with an RBI, and Cody Clemens with an RBI, which ended up being the game-winning play. That was real fun to see. It was a double to right field that allowed Turner to score. That was real good, man. That was a real good walk-off to see. And then next thing you know, hey, why not another one back-to-back? This was, this was the game Rangers started. 6 innings, 8 strikeouts as well. Saw some real good games from our pitchers. Other than, like I mentioned, that Nola game against the Dodgers. But this one, Schwarber with an RBI, Nick Castellanos with an RBI, Bryce Harper and Trey Turner with RBIs, and this was also the Schwarber walk-off, which was real good to see. He sent that thing flying, and he knew it from the moment he hit it out, essentially, and that was just a real good game to watch as well, to see that happen. And then we take it out to the Dodgers, like I mentioned, with the Nola game, and we ended off by beating them 7-3. Taiwan Walker again, and in the Dodgers game, this one, he went 5 innings this time, 5 strikeouts. Good game from him. Rest of the team did pretty well. This was Nick Castellanos' game, Bryce Harper's game. Bryson Stott, you know. Oh, this was also the game I think Garrett Stubbs had that like bunt that drove in a run. That was pretty good. And then yesterday, like I mentioned, we lost to the Cardinals. So looking at this June stretch as a whole, it's still to me a sort of mixed bag, you know, because you had those first two losses with the Mets and the Nationals. You have that one bad loss to the Dodgers 0-9, and you start off yesterday where the bullpen, I guess you could say, just really blew that game against the Diamondbacks. And, you know, the wins are nice, obviously, and it's not me trying to discredit this team or anything. You know, it's real good that we swept the Tigers. It's real good we won the National Series. It's real good that we won the Dodgers series. But at the same time, it's like you're just kind of weary. You know, you can't win them all, but at the same time, you kind of remain weary after that like ending stretch of May. Kind of hard to be a bit optimistic, but at the same time, you know, maybe that lineup change did help. Maybe, you know, we're really seeing the pitching team like come into play, you know, or come into form really. Like really start getting to that consistent level, hopefully. Other than that one NOLA game, it was like we saw pretty good games out of all our pitchers except for the bullpen games, which again, that's an issue that I don't know how to solve, you know? I don't know what the Phillies could really do for that fifth pitcher spot, you know, other than the bullpen. It's like you can maybe trade for one, but who and what are you going to trade? You know, who are you going to trade for? What are you going to trade for them? It's that kind of situation where you just don't really know what they should do in a sense. But everything else, it's like, hey, the lineup switching helped out a lot. But also, again, can we get a consistent lineup in a sense? And like, if you're wondering like what I mean by that, it's like, look at yesterday's game. You know, it's no disrespect to these guys, but it's like, why aren't we consistently playing certain, you know, guys on this team? I just don't know. You know, it's like why wasn't like Bryson Stott came into pitch hit, Cody Clemens came into pitch hit. I mean, and it's just like, why aren't these guys starting more often in a sense? You know, why? I know Alec Bohm was hurt for a bit, and who knows? Maybe they needed to. I mean, I don't know, cause I don't know. Maybe it's still that thing of Rob Thompson not playing him, but also it's like, why wasn't Brandon Marsh in this game yesterday versus the Diamondbacks? You know, maybe I haven't seen anything, and maybe he got injured or needed a rest day or whatever. But it's like, why isn't he playing over Guthrie? You know, and especially because it's like, look at that Dodgers series where, you know, he robbed Max Muncy of a potential big play, and then he also had another like big play, and it's like, that's a great guy to have out there in center field, and you know gives you some real good production batting wise, and it's like, why aren't we playing that guy more consistently? Why is Bryson Stott sitting sometimes? Why is, at this point, I know it's real difficult to really find a place for him, but like, my goodness, it's like, can we find a place for Cody Clemens to, you know, be consistently in this lineup? I know it would be real difficult because it's like you only have so many spots, and it's like you only have one designated hitter, and you know that's another thing. It makes you really wonder, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do once Harper's back fully healthy? What is this lineup gonna look like? Who's gonna slide into where? You know, but that's definitely a thing that, like, from yesterday's game, where I was just like, why are some of these guys in this game? You know, like, it's no offense to them, but it's like, that's just kind of how I feel about it, where I'm just like, I don't get why some of these guys are playing and we're not like putting out our lineup that could really help us, you know? Because I mean, again, no, it's no disrespect, but like, Guthrie yesterday had 3 at bats and it's 0 across the boards. Now he didn't strike out any times, but like it's zeros all across the box score. When he played in the Detroit game that we won, he had 1 hit, but and he scored a run, but that was pretty much it. I don't know. It's just me kind of wanting to see some guys play more consistently. But then again, who knows? Maybe it was just Rob Thompson's like, oh, we need to rest some guys. Maybe there's an injury we don't know about, But hey, Brandon Marsh played the game before and he got 2 hits and he also walked once and only struck out once, I don't know. Anyways, it's crazy to see all this and you just really are I'm just really confused by the fact that like this team just becomes a different team once the calendar turns to June, and it's like, my goodness, what is it about June that makes these guys just start playing crazy? And why do we have to wait, essentially 2 whole months for that to happen? Why do we have to wait till June for a lot of these guys to catch fire, But at the same time, hey, I'll take it, I'm excited to see this team going forward. I hope we can do better in this Arizona series than we did earlier in the year. Cause I think we ended up losing that series 2-1. Hoping to do a lot better in this 4 series split, and then we got Oakland coming up next, but they've been winning some games, but at the same time, it's Oakland, so maybe hopefully, hoping we can just get like with the Tigers, a 3-0 sweep. Don't play no funny business. Get those wins when you can take them. Especially because right after that, it's a 3-game series against the Braves, a 3-game series against the Mets, and then after that, that's looking towards the end of June where we gotta face the Cubs, and it's an iffy schedule to end off the month of June. But if this team can remain hot and not let yesterday's loss get to them, we could see a real big improvement in this month of June and really set us up well for July, August, and of course the dreaded month of September for Philly fans, because that just seems to be the month that we dread the most, because for whatever reason this team, just like how they turn into a different team in June, they turn into a different team come September, but in the worst of ways. But hey, hopefully by the next time we cover, we see some issues resolved, such as the pitching. But again, that's just the one big thing. I don't know what we can do to solve this pitching issue, especially it's like this issue of like when the starters are on fire, sometimes the bullpen isn't on fire, or when the offense is on, the pitching is off. So I don't know. I'll remain hopeful, and man, what a crazy start to June so far, huh?